This video is about making a repair on a hot water main leading from the hot water heater to the rest of the house. So in actuality, the entire house did not have any hot water, and there was water leaking under the concrete slab. I don't know if you've experienced this, but it's an expensive job. I didn't want to break up the concrete slab if I didn't have to, and I'm going to show you how I did this job. The first thing I did was remove the bathroom cabinet. I knew that the 3/4 inch copper pipe that led from the hot water heater came up behind the cabinet in the bathroom. After I removed the cabinet, I proceeded to break out the drywall behind the cabinet to expose the copper pipes. When you're removing the drywall, you want to make sure that you don't damage any of the copper tubing coming up out of the concrete slab. Now I'm going to be moving into the garage. Found my pipe.
Okay, you're in the garage.
Yeah, I'm in the garage. I took the heater out, the water heater out, and I found the pipe. This is the pipe that leads to the guest bathroom. It's also the main water feeder pipe.
How did you find that? Just follow it straight up?
Right up here.
Follow it, follow your pointer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now those the spigots up there, they go to the water heater, correct?
Yeah, they attach to the water heater.
Okay.
This is the cold water feed line. This is the hot water outlet line.
So you followed it straight?
I followed it straight.
Followed it straight, okay.
Okay.
And then you cut the hole?
Well, cut the hole here.
Okay.
I'm going to make it bigger.
Show me your saw. What is that?
I call it a coping saw.
Coping saw? Okay.
And it's made to cut drywall.
Okay.
Okay.
Coping saw for drywall. Okay.
Yeah. And
okay.
I'm going to make this hole bigger.
Okay.
Because I'm going to make a cut in this pipe someplace.
All right.
Okay. And I'm going to try and feed the PEX tubing through this opening here, all the way to the guest bathroom.
Okay.
Because this tubing, when it gets in the ground, it's got a hole in it.
I got you.
Okay. So I'm going to put an insert in it. I'm going to put that PEX tubing in it. Okay. And I want to...
This is 3 feet from the bottom?
Well, I might be a little bit lower. Okay. That's fine.
So I'm going to film the bottom. Yeah. This is the bottom. This is the platform for your water heater.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that there's no elbow down here at the bottom where it comes up from the concrete. Because I think to add insult to injury, the hot water heater had developed a hole in it, and it not only needed to be removed, but needed to be replaced. My intentions are to cut the copper tubing somewhere close to the sole plate or near the concrete slab and push some PEX B tubing, which is made for this kind of work. It's 1/2 inch PEX B plastic tubing that you can run through 3/4 inch copper pipe.
Now the plumbers didn't think there will be elbows here because it's against code, he said. When they said...
When it's underground, it can't be any... Yeah, that is true. When you're running copper pipe underneath the ground to different locations in the house, it has to be solid. There can't be any solder joints in it, and that's by code. pipe that's under the ground comes up over here someplace. As you can see, the platform for the hot water heater is soaked, so I'm going to have to remove that oriented strand board, OSB it's called, and replace it with something new. I can see now that I'm going to have to remove all the drywall that was behind the hot water heater and remove the oriented strand board that held the hot water heater up to be able to get to the copper tubing to make the cut just above the concrete. Join it here if I don't have to.
Yeah, I think you should open it.
I think this should be
Remove.
open and removed, and that I should really go down to see where the PEX tubing should go through.
I think you should do it.
I was taking a leap of faith, but now that I see how vertical this pipe is running, it's hard to say really where it comes up out of the ground. Matter of fact, it would be a scientific, wild-ass guess.
My opinion is, take the platform, it'll take the wild gas out of it.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you're cutting copper pipe.
That's right.
So my next step is, okay, I've located the tubing. Probably unnecessarily cut this out, but at least I found it.
True. Okay. That's okay. It's good. A good window.
I'm going to take this platform out now, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to find out exactly what's going on.
Okay. Now the witness of this platform right now is from the water heater.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you need any more rags? I can bring you some more rags.
No, okay. I don't think I do. Because I'm going to be taking it out anyhow.
You take a coffee break here and there? Don't wear yourself down?
I'm not worn out as much as I am anxious. This pipe lets the pressure and steam release in case the water heater overheats.
Okay. Okay, here's your platform. So what am I looking here? There's a kink bent in there.
That's not a kink.
What is that?
That's a 45-degree elbow.
Okay.
And that would have kept me from getting that PEX piping through.
True.
So
you're going to cut below that?
I'm going to cut below that.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be cutting the tubing right about here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I was hoping the copper tubing would go straight up from the floor, but it did turn out that there was a 45-degree elbow that redirect hot water feed line to the house. And that put the hot and cold water pipes next to each other.
Okay, you're going to cut below it because that's a pipe that doesn't have any elbows at all.
I would take that platform out if I thought I could, but they really got it nailed in. I cut the hot water main here, okay? This goes up to the valve up there, the roof.
And you're in the garage right now where the water heater is?
Yeah. I've taken the lid off.
Okay.
Now I'm just using this brush here to clean the copper, make it nice and bright.
I see.
Okay. And that way I can...
Are you going to solder back that length that you cut?
Yeah. Yeah, what I'm going to do is solder that piece I brought. It's probably still in the bathroom. I'm going to solder it here. And I decided to do it before I run the PEX, because the PEX is plastic and I don't want any heat around the plastic. So I'm going to solder this first, let it cool down before I try and run the PEX tubing down through. See the logic behind that?
Right, right.
And then after I solder the joint here, then I can run the PEX tubing through. I may need to use a snake, a snake hook to grab the PEX tubing to pull through.
That's the one that you bought at Home Depot.
Yeah, yeah.
We can show that.
It's the red one behind you, yeah, or at your feet. So, but I thought it's best if I solder this I wasn't going to, but then at first I was just going to run the PEX tubing through here. But I'm going to solder this first. I'm going to solder the fittings on first.
Okay, the fittings will get soldered first. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay.
And that might be good because then you won't burn the tubing.
Burn the tubing. I don't want to burn the tubing.
Okay. This is called PEX B, correct?
PEX B.
Okay.
The red indicates the color. It's going to be hot water, so I chose red. Color really doesn't matter too much, but I've chosen the red.
It's normally red as in hot water.
And it's about a 1/2 inch.
Okay.
And I'm going to be running it through 3/4 inch copper pipe.
The copper pipe that I showed in the previous video is, or previous clip is, the copper that's in existence at 3/4 of an
3/4
inch.
inch. Yeah, it's got a leak in it. It's got a hole in it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just running a tube within a tube.
Okay.
A tube within a pipe
All right. Gotcha.
to avoid breaking up the concrete slab.
Gotcha.
Okay. If you look closely, you can see the threaded coupling that I soldered on to the copper tubing, and also you can see the PEX B as it goes into the hot water main leading to the bathroom. I was able to push it all the way through by hand. I didn't need a snake. Here is the PEX tubing as it came out inside the guest bathroom. I gave myself some extra length because I didn't want to have to run the piping or the tubing back through underneath the ground. The PEX tubing will be routed to and connected to the manifold system in the bathroom that provides hot water to the rest of the house. Now we're back in the garage where the hot water heater was. You're looking at a brass adapter that I threaded onto the threaded coupling for the copper pipe. It has a nipple on the end of it that will be attached to the PEX B tubing. I'm going to thread this on, and I'm going to need my crescent wrenches.
Okay.
Adjustable wrenches. I'm going to need
Gotcha.
2 of them.
Gotcha.
Okay. I ended up removing all the drywall, exposing the copper tubing because I found another leak, and it was in the elbow right at the top as it comes out and goes into the hot water heater. I had to make a cut to replace a piece of rotted out copper pipe, and here's what it looks like all connected up. I connected both the hot water outlet and the cold water inlet together with a nipple and did a pressure test on the system to see if it was leaking. There were no leaks, and my next job was to install the drywall. After mounting the drywall with drywall screws, I used this sheetrock all-purpose joint compound to fill in the gaps to make it look nice.
What's that made of, plaster?
Yes, it's plastic. I added water to mix it to the right consistency. Once you mix the drywall compound to the consistency of slightly chilled peanut butter, that's when you go in and fill in your gaps between the drywall. Now, before the plaster dries up, you put your paper drywall tape over top of the plaster and go over it again with more drywall joint compound to smooth it out. The technique is demonstrated here. Once the plaster and tape set up a little bit, it's time to texture the wall if you had textured walls. And I use this texture spray gun that I got from Harbor Freight. It does a good job.
All the stuff that you're doing is time
Be
consuming.
sure you thin out the plaster before you put it in the texture
It
spray
took a whole
gun.
day first to dispose of the water heater.
Oh, we did that, didn't we? I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was first, and then you got gas, and then you put the sheetrock in or drywall into the cavity you have made,
Yeah.
and then nailed it. Of course, you cut it, and then nailed it. You know, this is a 3-day job. It's just not one half day that the like the what do you call this, the contractors gave. You can't do this in one day.
Here I am using an air compressor to power the spray gun, or sometimes they call it a hopper. Since the wood on the platform had gotten wet, I elected to replace it with OSB oriented strand board. Since the plaster job was complete and the system had been pressure checked, I took out the nipple at this point and separated the two pipes. After completing the job in the garage, I went into the guest bathroom and repeated the process as you can see here.
You don't glue it down. It's just the slurry that you put in there that glues it down, right?
That's correct.
And the slurry is made of?
Dry joint compound. Dry joint compound.
Is that the same ingredients or substance as what's in the drywall?
You know,
Like
you're
gypsum
right.
and
Yeah, that's what it
and
is.
adhesive or whatever there is in there?
Same thing.
Same thing? Okay. So it's just a liquid drywall that you're applying?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Tell me what you did.
Oh, I had to replace the plumbing, run PEX tubing through a broken hot water main. I had to repair the plumbing in the wall as the hot water from the hot water heater went down to the rest of the house. And then I had to cut out all the drywall, okay, in order to get to the plumbing and fix it. I used PEX clamps. I soldered copper pipes. I did everything that just about can be done. I just don't think. I think I saved myself $5,000 or more because of the carpentry work and the drywall and the plumbing. It's just too much to go over in a short time span. But the soonest I could get someone out here to work on this was February 14th. And I got this job completed, finished, done, hot water heater installed, plumbing repaired, and it's February the 4th. Now I said, I'm not sure if I'm right on my dates. I may have gotten things screwed up, but the soonest I could get someone out here would have been February the 14th. And I got the job done on February the 4th, 2025. and it was one of the most intense plumbing jobs I've ever done. Shoot, I even textured the drywall and put in, what am I trying to say it? Strips of wood, furring strips, so that I would have something to screw the drywall onto as it went back up. I put on new escutcheon plates. I put in new copper wire, copper tubing. I'm winded. Yeah, I'm winded. But you know what? I think I'm going to have some hot water here. I don't see any leaks. And we've been doing it the old-fashioned way by heating water up on the stove, and that's how we've been keeping ourselves clean, and taking showers with buckets of water, heating it up on the stove. We had cold water in the house, but no hot water. And it's been a sacrifice, a journey, and one heck of a learning experience. You have to put your head together and think on a project like this, because the answers are not always in front of you, and you have to think through and think about a project like this and use your logic to complete it. So